Imagine this, a force of 150,000 warriors from the Ottoman Empire, one of the most powerful military machines the world has ever seen, lays siege to a city. Their goal? To crush the heart of Christendom and expand their empire deeper into Europe than ever before. The walls are crumbling, the defenders are starving, and all hope seems lost, until from the forests an alliance of unlikely heroes emerges to mount what history would remember as the largest cavalry charge ever conducted. This is the story of the Battle of Vienna, a clash of empires, faiths, and military strategies that would decide the fate of Europe for centuries to come. A day when 80,000 crusaders faced off against 150,000 Ottomans in a struggle that would echo through history. To understand the magnitude of this battle, we need to rewind. For centuries, the Ottoman Empire had been expanding relentlessly into Europe. By the 17th century, they controlled vast territories from the Middle East to the Balkans, and Vienna stood as the crucial gateway between East and West. This wasn't even their first attempt to take the city. Back in 1529, Suleiman the Magnificent had tried and failed, thwarted by bad weather and stubborn defenders. But by 1683, a new Ottoman leader had ambitious plans. Grand Vizier Kara Mustafa Pasha, personally appointed by Sultan Mehmed IV, was determined to succeed where Suleiman had failed. He'd mobilized a massive force, up to 150,000 strong, according to some estimates, including not just Ottoman troops, but vassal states from across their empire. His decision to attack wasn't just about territory, it was about personal glory, religious expansion, and establishing Ottoman dominance once and for all. Let's break down these opposing forces. On the Ottoman side, Kara Mustafa commanded what appeared to be an unstoppable army, 60,000 professional soldiers, including the legendary Janissaries, elite infantry who had been training since childhood, plus nearly 100,000 additional troops from vassal states like Transylvania, Wallachia, and the Crimean Tatars. They brought with them sophisticated siege equipment and mining tools for tunneling under walls. Facing them stood what remained of Vienna's defenders, initially just 15,000 men under Count Ernst Rüdiger von Starhemberg. But waiting in the wings was the real game changer. A relief force of approximately 80,000 troops from the Holy League Alliance, an unprecedented coalition between the Holy Roman Empire, Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth, and various German states. Their commander? The brilliant and charismatic King John III Sobieski of Poland, a military genius who had already defeated the Ottomans multiple times in previous conflicts. On July 14, 1683, the Ottomans closed their trap around Vienna. Rather than attempting immediate assault, Kara Mustafa began a systematic siege, surrounding the city, cutting off supply lines, and beginning the tedious work of tunneling beneath the walls to plant explosive mines. For the Viennese, these were 60 days of pure hell. Food ran short, disease spread through the streets, and constant bombardment wore down both walls and morale. By early September, the situation had become desperate. The Ottomans had successfully detonated several mines, creating breaches in the walls. The defenders had beaten back 18 major assaults, but their numbers had dwindled to just a third of their original strength. Count Starhemberg knew time was running out. Without reinforcements, Vienna would fall. Meanwhile, Kara Mustafa made a crucial error. Instead of preparing proper defenses against a relief force, he remained hyper-focused on taking the city, convinced his victory was inevitable. While Vienna suffered, salvation was approaching. King Sobieski had been gathering forces from across Europe, Polish hussars, German infantry, Austrian cavalry, all moving toward the Danube. The command structure was a potential nightmare with so many proud nobles, but they agreed to place Sobieski in overall command due to his experience and reputation. By September 6th, they had reached the Danube River and linked up with additional forces, creating a combined army of approximately 80,000 men. Their challenge now was navigating the difficult terrain of the Vienna woods without being detected. In a brilliant strategic move, they chose a path through the thick forests that shielded their approach. On the night of September 11th, they lit signal fires on the hills above Vienna, letting the desperate defenders know that help had finally arrived. Imagine the morale boost for those starving defenders when they saw those distant lights. After 2 months of siege, salvation was at hand. September 12, 1683, the day of destiny, dawned clear and sunny. The Christian forces were positioned along the heights of the Kahlenberg Mountains, looking down on the Ottoman siege lines. Kara Mustafa had made a fatal mistake. He hadn't properly fortified his rear, assuming the terrain would protect him. Now faced with an army on the high ground, he was forced to split his forces between continuing the siege and facing the new threat. The battle began at dawn with Imperial infantry advancing down the slopes, supported by artillery firing from the heights. The Ottomans launched fierce counterattacks, their skilled archers and musketmen taking a heavy toll. For hours, the outcome hung in the balance as fighting raged through vineyards and villages at the base of the mountains. The critical moment came around midday. After hours of fighting, the Ottoman lines were still holding, but showing signs of strain. As the afternoon wore on, King Sobieski made his masterstroke. He had held back his elite Polish cavalry, the famed winged hussars, for exactly the right moment. Now, with the Ottoman forces fully engaged and exhausted, he prepared what would become the largest cavalry charge in history. Imagine the sight: 18,000 cavalrymen, including 3,000 of the legendary winged hussars, arrayed across a mile-wide front, their distinctive wings creating an eerie humming sound as they advanced. Down the slopes they came, gaining momentum with every passing second, a thunderous wave of horseflesh, steel, and determination. They hit the Ottoman lines with unimaginable force, shattering their formations, trampling underfoot those who stood their ground, and spreading panic throughout the entire army. The effect was instantaneous and decisive. Ottoman resistance collapsed as panic spread. Soon, what had been an organized army became a routed mob, fleeing for their lives toward the east. The cavalry crashed straight through to Kara Mustafa's own command tent, capturing incredible treasures he had brought for his triumphant entry into Vienna. The Grand Vizier himself barely escaped with his life, abandoning his standard and personal belongings in his haste to flee. The Battle of Vienna stands as a powerful reminder that even against overwhelming odds, unity and strategic brilliance can prevail. It featured the largest cavalry charge in history, involved one of the most diverse military alliances ever assembled, and decided the fate of a continent. So the next time you visit Vienna and see those magnificent buildings, enjoy that famous Viennese coffee, or walk along the ancient city walls, remember the time when 80,000 crusaders faced 150,000 Ottomans in a battle that saved Europe. This was September 12th, 1683, a date that changed history forever.